Welcome to Sinister Heroes. I'm your host, Danny Iniquitous. Thank you for tuning in. If you're new to the channel, this is a channel about Dungeons and Dragons. This week we're doing something a little different. We're just going to talk about the new Unearthed Arcana, specifically the Scion of the Three, which is something I'm really excited about. So let's jump right into the video. Alright, let's get into it. Forgive me while I look from left to right to kind of read some of the stuff, but I am really excited about this. This is actually really cool. This is Scion of the Three. This is a rogue subclass based around the Dead Three, Bane, Bhaal, and Myrkul, which already is awesome. I love the Dead Three. I happen to be a huge proprietor of their love and their message. I think they are awesome. They are one of my favorite deities to encounter, and whenever I see them in an unexpected place or like some place where I wasn't looking for them, I always grow more infatuated with them. I think they just get better and better the more time you see them and encounter them. That being said, super pumped about this. Scion of the Three. This is just awesome. Alright, so first off, the first ability you get already puts you in a great spot. It is called Bloodthirst. Right there, already, it's stolen my heart. If your sneak attack hits a bloodied creature, the target takes extra damage of the weapon's type equal to half of your rogue's level, rounded up. In addition, when an enemy you can see is reduced to 0 hit points, you can take a reaction and teleport to an unoccupied space you can see within 30 feet of yourself. You can then make one melee attack. You can use this reaction a number of times equal to your intelligence modifier, and you regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. As a level 3 ability, this is amazing. This is amazing. So, bloody creatures are creatures that have reached at least half their hit points. So, the further you get in the game, the more you'll get out of this. When you start getting this ability at 3rd level, a bloody creature is going to be down in 1 or 2 hits anyway. 3 hits, maybe 4. But most of the time, those fights tend to go quick as far as taking one particular enemy down. At higher levels, you will get additional mileage because they survive longer. They are more durable, they have more hit points, and they can resist certain things. So, higher levels, you'll see this deal more and more additional damage. On top of the fact that it's just added damage. So that's your regular attack. That's your attack modifier, your dexterity damage. That is your sneak attack damage, and then that's your half of your rogue level on top of that. If you picked up True Strike, that's an additional amount on top of that. That is a great way to pile on dice to deal increased damage, and you get it at level 3. You also get Dread Allegiance. Choose one of the Dead Three, Bane, Bhaal, or Myrkul. You gain resistance to one type of damage and the ability to cast a cantrip as detailed in the table below. Intelligence is your spellcasting ability for this cantrip. When you finish a long rest, you can change your choice. So you have variability. You can change this whenever you feel necessary. Fighting a lot of dead, switch to one. Fighting a lot of poisonous creatures, switch to another. Bane gives you resistance to psychic damage. So if you're fighting illithids and things like that, yeah, that's kind of the way you want to go. But it also gives you the cantrip Minor Illusion. Bhaal gives you poison resistance and the cantrip Blade Ward. Myrkul gives you necrotic resistance and the cantrip Chill Touch. Now, to be honest, Bane's cantrip I find to be the most viable, as it gives you the most options to use, simply because you can hide in stealth, cast Minor Illusion to draw someone towards you, get someone to kind of jump in and fall into a trap, or distract something so that way you can get away. It is a great opportunity for an intelligent person to really break tactical formation and cause circumstances in your favor that you wouldn't normally get in D&D. It takes finesse and trying and understanding and a DM that works well with illusions, but Minor Illusion can be a great drawing force. It can be a very useful tool. Blade Ward is defensive. It's something you need to kind of be very premeditative about. And Chill Touch is an odd circumstance because you are sacrificing the availability to hit sneak attack. So unless you're in a circumstance where you know you're fighting something that's like immune to physical damage, then Myrkul will be the way to go just to compensate that. But that seems like a really far-fetched idea. Now, moving on, because it just gets better. At level 9, you get Strike Fear. You gain the following Cunning Strike option: Terrify. The target must succeed on a Wisdom saving throw, or it has the Frightened condition for 1 minute. The frightened target repeats the save at the end of each of its turns, ending the effect on itself on a success. Now, Cunning Strikes is from the 2024 rule set. Cunning Strikes is an ability where you reduce the amount of dice used for sneak attack in order to cause an additional effect. This costs 1d6 dice. So if you have 2d6 for your sneak attack, you only do 1d6. But the addition of adding debuffs and certain conditions, depending on what Cunning Strike you want to use, because there's a bunch of them and some of them are really, really viable. The Frightened condition and that Fear condition is my favorite condition because it's so debilitating. A, they have disadvantage on attacks and as long as they're in sight of you. B, they cannot go towards the focus of their fear. So say you hit an enemy that is just melee oriented. You hit them with Strike Fear and then you disengage and you run. Now this character cannot go towards you. If you and all of your team are on one side and you run to that side, he cannot approach any members of your team. You can now lay waste into him from range with a great amount of safety. And it's tactically very beneficial for you to do so, because though you might be sacrificing your sneak attack damage, what you are doing is making sure none of your party get hurt by essentially freezing this target in place. Before we go any further, a big thank you to our Patreon supporters. We love you guys. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. What you do for us is absolutely amazing. A big thank you to our good friends at Critical Failures, who were part of a live stream game every Wednesday night. And check us out on our live stream World of Warcraft channel, Velcrest. The link to all those is in the description, as well as a link to our Patreon supporter. Support us there too. And with that out of the way, let's keep going with the video. All right. At 13th level, you gain Aura of Malevolence. You radiate malignant power associated with one of the dead 3. At the start of each of your turns, each creature of your choice within a 10-foot emanation originating from you takes damage equal to your intelligence modifier. The damage type is the same type as the damage resistance granted by your choice in the Dread Allegiance feature. The damage dealt by this aura ignores resistance. The aura is inactive while you have the incapacitated condition. Now, understand, this means that you will be emanating psychic, poison, or necrotic damage in a 10-foot radius at the start of your turn. That is free damage. There is no save. They just suffer it. Understand that. Understand that is AoE damage at the start of your turn. That does not cause an action. That just happens, and you can choose the targets. Now, positioning yourself to be next to a certain group of people might be very difficult as a rogue. You don't normally want to just be there. That you're not the defensive high AC person for that. Especially considering your best way to set this up is by using Bloodthirst. Use your Bloodthirst before your turn happens. Like right before. Get that, pop in, get that extra sneak attack. Put yourself in a situation where you're around a bunch of people. Make your attack, disengage after Aura of Malevolence, and you've just done a radical amount of damage for a rogue, because even though this damage isn't huge, it is additional damage added onto whatever other damage you can get for your sneak attack, or maybe one of these are bloodied, so you kick in Bloodthirst on top of that extra additional damage, but you're spreading that damage out. So 3 to 3 creatures still just sounds like 3, but ultimately you did 9 additional damage. Sometimes that damage will accumulate. It'll get bigger and bigger and bigger, and the longer the fight goes, the more damage you will get out of this ability. Now, you don't want fights going too long, but you do have options to evade this completely. But in circumstances where you can take use of it, it does give you an opportunity to spread your damage out to other people. Again, it's not a lot of damage, but it's a 10-foot area around, like centered around you. You can get in there, hit a couple of people, and just disengage and walk out if you set up yourself correctly for it. It can help your tanks. You can be behind your tanks and just do that, and then use a short bow as you're backing away further. There's a bunch of ways to take advantage of this, and because you have disengage built into your kit, if you use your movement correctly, you can use this and get out of harm's way effectively. And it's evil. It's so cool. It gives you such a great risk and reward additional benefit for being up close, and I'm all about it. The final ability you get is Dread Incarnate. You gain the following benefits: Battle Tyrant. You have advantage on attack rolls against any creature with the frightened condition. Love it. Love it. Murderous Intent. When you roll for your sneak attack damage, you treat any roll of 1 or 2 on the die as a 3, which is awesome because now your damage will never be below a certain amount. You will never get 1s or 2s, which always sucks on damage dice, because say you rolled 66 and you got 3 2s or 1 and like a 1 and the rest of them were 4s or 5. Like, it's gonna feel like you hit for so much less than if you hit for 3s across the board and then 4s or 5s. It ups your damage, it balances your damage to make you more sustainable, and on top of that, if anyone has the fear condition, it doesn't matter if you meet any of the other criteria for sneak attack, because that will give you the ability to hit sneak attack, so you can hit them from range, and you have the availability to use Terrify to set up that fear as a possibility every time you hit with a sneak attack. It's a great way to have a sustainable fear ability and get great advantage out of it. Hit it once, back away, fire, fire, fire. It breaks it, hit it once, back away, fire, fire, fire. Like, it's so conducive of almost imprisoning someone in an imagination cage. Like, it's awesome. Now, to be honest, I was really hoping for a Warlock of the Dead 3, but this is still really cool. I feel there's a lot of Warlock-esque themes here, which I think is great, but ultimately this is an awesome subclass. This takes the Rogue to a new level. I really like the Rogue, but this is, in my opinion, the best Rogue I've seen in a long time. It's awesome. It's thematic. It feels cool. It gives you so many tricks on top of your already cool Rogue abilities. And it's about the Dead 3, which is just wild because you're now traversing a very strange narrative for a Rogue. Like it's almost like being a cleric rogue or a warlock rogue, because you get that feel because nothing else is devout to the Dead 3 like this. I'd be surprised if it stays like this again because it's Unearthed Arcana, but they cooked. This is awesome. With that out of the way, we're gonna bring this video to a close. Super pumped about it. I cannot wait for the book that this comes out in to see what adventure it's part of or what else it comes with it. And I love it so much. I'm really excited. If you've made it this far, definitely hit that like and subscribe button. A big thank you to our Patreon supporters. We love you guys. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. What you do is absolutely amazing. If you're interested in becoming a Patreon supporter, the link is in the description, as well as the link to our good friends at Critical Failures, where we're part of a live stream game on Wednesday nights, and our link to our other YouTube channel, Twitch channel, where we cover World of Warcraft with a live stream in hardcore and see if we can make it all the way to the 60, which is not going well, but I'm having a lot of fun with it anyway. So thank you for giving a spooky kid a chance.